What would you say are the 3 clear signs that a man may cheat on his partner?
A lot of these are quite depressing, but one of them is just family history. Infidelity runs in families. There is evidence that it is partially under the influence of genetics, like most behaviors. Genes code for proteins and regulatory molecules, and those proteins and regulatory molecules make up and run your brain, right? So it's not surprising that genes have some impact on behavior, and it seems that it has some impact on a person's individual likelihood of pursuing infidelity. So I'm not saying that you should be punitive about this. Plenty of people whose dads cheat don't cheat themselves, but in terms of just red flags, it's like, if you know a guy's dad cheated, it's like, well, he's more likely to himself, probably. More likely than someone whose dad was, the epitome of faithfulness. And a lot of people take that as a very controversial thing to say, but the data supports it.
Family history is the first red flag. Second one?
What are their actual sexual inclinations? There's this concept in psychology known as sociosexuality, which is essentially a person's propensity to engage in uncommitted mating. If someone really enjoys sleeping with people who they just met, one-night stands and things like that, and doesn't want to or need to be in love in order to have a passionate sexual relationship with somebody, those sorts of people are going to be more inclined towards unfaithfulness.
Interesting.
And you might think, oh, that's kind of peculiar, but it's really not when you think about the fact that most infidelity is, to some degree, uncommitted mating. And both of these factors that I mentioned, we're talking about men, both of these apply to women as well.
Okay. So, what do you guys think about this concept of cheating come from genetics? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's not genetics, but it's the sample that it's the example that was set for you.
So I kind of see it the same way you do, and hopefully Mackin has said he's going to come here in the summer and I'll have him on the show. I'm curious if maybe in genetics, is it a neurochemical genetic?
Well, your brain operates like your parents' brain.
But could it be this? Could it be the dude who's super fucking horny has a son who's super fucking horny? Could it be hormonal instead of being neurochemical, or could it be a mix of both? I don't know. I don't have a narrative
My
here.
mother's nothing like me.
Yeah. What do you think about this?
I think it asks the wrong question, to be quite honest with you. The reason for this is because everything, well, sorry, Mac, but everything that I hear from like guys like Mackin or Alex from Date Psych or the rest of these guys, it's all predicated on one thing. It's a committed monogamous relationship, okay? We know in the 21st century now we have multiple models of relationships. Like you are in a non-traditional relationship right now. I am in a traditional relationship. Yes. Okay. Then you've got like say Justin Waller is in a different relationship than you are. Mm-hmm. Is he a cheater? Is Huberman a cheater? And does he have the cheating gene because he was nailing 6 chicks and he just kept it under wraps? Or is he? Is there something about his genetic makeup that makes him want to keep it under wraps? Whereas a guy like, and I hate, sorry, Justin, but a guy like Justin who is non-exclusive, has one main woman, and then can go play the field, right? Is that because right now I think one of the things that we're really focusing on that is like to our detriment is we're trying to say, well, what is going to facilitate this socially enforced monogamous thing that we used to have in the 20th century, and how come we can't get back to that today? That's the wrong fucking question to ask.
But I don't think that's what he's trying to propose.
No, but
here.
everything is premised on that being a goal state rather than like, well, our guy's horny. Well, we can probably find out. Do you have the horny gene, or are you a guy that fucks, or are you a guy that doesn't fuck? We can probably find a gene or a combination of genes that would predispose a guy to do that.
So one of the things is I had a viral.
Is it the cheating gene? No, it's in the context of societal. This is cheating and this is not.
Could cheating be a combination of super horny and super deceitful? And could the deceitful part be a neurochemical response and the horny part be a hormonal response? And could both of those things be genetic, or neither? Or one or the other, and that's the question I would ask. It could be a combination.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the other part about the inclination, I went viral for posting a clip, the GSS clip, when we went on the Saucecast, where I talked about women who cheated in a relationship had, on average, 230% more sexual partners than women who didn't cheat. And the part that I left out was, yes, men are the same way, and that's one of the things I wanted to point out here, because one of the main criticisms, I went on Bree Hunter's show, I've talked to some other people, is that they have, unbelievably, they act like we don't criticize men. And so that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to. I know. Yeah. There's one reason why I wanted to point this out. He's right. Men, if you date a guy with a 700 body count, he is more likely to cheat. So sorry, I know they may make some of you mad. Surprise! Surprise! Now, but here's the problem. The way Mackin describes it, guys, people who are more likely to have sex, hot, passionate sex without a romantic engagement, that's called college. Like, I just don't know many dudes who, if they had the ability in their 20s and 30s to have non-attachment sex, wouldn't have a lot of that, but that doesn't make them bad people, and I'm not sure that makes them more likely to cheat. But here's the thing. There's the men who want to cheat and can, and then there's the men who want to cheat and can't, and that's most men. So I just think it's a little bit more complicated discussion than that. But I do
in an open relationship right now. Have you
Define
ever?
open.
Exactly.
No.
I don't like
Because everyone defines it differently.
Okay,
Define open.
I understand what you're.
threesome thrower.
Threesome thrower.
Not open.
Okay.
Simply a mutual interest in women that we occasionally
See, look.
will bring
21st
home.
century love.
Occasionally bring home.
That's
Not
crazy.
open for you to do whatever the fuck you want and me to do whatever the fuck you want. Only some mutual within each other's presence.
That's such a crazy radical way of dating women. That's so crazy and radical. High five.
Since you guys are the only ones I can pick on right here.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
asked this.
right.
I've asked this question. I've asked this
that.
question before. But if you're in an open relationship or a semi whatever
Polygynous
relationship,
not polygyny.
what constitutes cheating? It's
Anything that your partner doesn't know
you have
about
Exactly.
or you have to hide.
Right, exactly.
Anything that has to be hidden
Exactly.
that's not
Okay.
agreed upon is
Exactly.
a cheat.
So-
Even a text message from someone that's not supposed to be
So
talking.
it is based on the arrangement that you have with your partner.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yes.
you could still be in a position where it's like you and your man can bring other women into the thing as long as you're all
Why, is
above
anyone
board.
interested?
Right.
Anybody
Like both on the same path.
I can't wait for you to sit next to Mackin. That's actually what I want.
So by
raise my hand.
by the 20th century definition of cheating, every time you bring a woman into your bed and your man sleeps with her, that constitutes cheating, according to the guys who are talking about, do you have a cheating gene? Do you not have a cheating gene? No, I'm a fucking gene. That's what I have, and I like to fuck, okay? And my dear old dad, he liked to fuck, and my granddad, he really liked to fuck, too. And
I
that's
like to fuck 3.
You're a generational fuck. Got it. Thanks. No, I was just going to say is that the entirety of this is it asks the wrong fucking question. It's like, are you the guy that likes to fuck, or are you not the guy that likes to fuck? The guy that does is probably going to be the one who's not going to be in
if
a
he can find
traditionally
partners.
close on her end,
If he can
close on
find-
your end
if he can
relationship.
if he can find partners that will go along with that.
Right.
But
I
it's
think
a lot
you're
easier
talking
these
about.
days because of social media.
No, I think if you're in the top
cheating
15%,
so
it is.
cheating is
Yeah.
based on your individual arrangement.
Arrangement.
It's not about like whether you have a fucking gene for it or not.
I think also it depends on your external and environmental influence around you as well.
Yeah.
Like if you have a bunch of friends that are like, no, we're so against this, like eating healthy, you're around a bunch of people that eat healthy, you'll
Yeah.
be like more inclined to do that. If you're around of like that other type of group and people and they all get away with it and they tell each other and they all cover for each other, and you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Well, that makes
Like,
sense
it's
because
gonna
all
grow
our
off.
friends are
Stop.
not traditional.
Not traditional.
Not traditional.
We're a bunch of
if you have a
non-traditional
group
people.
of friends and your friends start getting divorced,
birthday, Claudia.
If your friends start getting divorced, the likelihood of you getting divorced actually goes
Well, this is what
up.
I was telling you guys in the
Pregnancy
last
and things
session,
like
that
that.
when you surround yourself, like if a girl's single and she surrounds herself with married women, she ends up finding a good man like later on.
So I think
No,
what
it
we're
doesn't
saying,
happen.
what we're saying is Mackin is correct, but there could be environmental and genetic reasons, and those genetic reasons could be a combination of hormonal and neurochemical. There's neurochemical reasons why somebody may want to be more deceitful. That may be something you pass down genetically. But like
Exactly,
I said
what they
before-
saw in their childhood from their parents doing.
But the issue is this: the only place where I take umbrage is this: is that a normal guy, if he was given the option of being able to have a lot of sex with women and it was unattached, and he's maybe in his early 20s, a lot of men are going to take that, and they're not narcissists, and they're not more likely to cheat. I just don't think that. Maybe they are. Maybe
It's
I'm
just
wrong
the
about this.
it's the dick
What I'm saying is
talking.
it's
The dick talking, yes.
I just think what I'm saying is in Dr. Buss's 37 culture study, every single one of those 37 cultures was the men were more interested in casual sex than the women. And one of the things we have to understand is that lying is bad. Men being interested in casual sex isn't bad. Lying is bad.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. That's the only
Absolutely.
distinction I would like to make. But I definitely
Absolutely.
agree with him that people, if you have a father that cheats, more likely to have the son that cheats. If the studies say
because
that, I
you see
absolutely
like
believe that.
him bringing home women all the time
sure.
and sneaking
That's
them
where
in.
monkey
like,
see,
that's
monkey kill
For
Yeah.
sure,
came
for sure.
from.
But the thing about if you're in a friend group and someone gets divorced, you're more likely to get divorced. Absolutely true. Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Are you aware of any like incidents of guys who like were not on TRT or weren't taking testosterone,
What's
and then they
TRT?
get testosterone,
Testosterone
yeah.
replacement therapy.
and then they started taking it, and then they cheated on their wives?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. That's a really interesting one.
So, because the reason why I'm saying this is because if we're just going to peg it to like genetic markers and stuff like that, well, I don't know if the studies have been done, but like, are there any studies of guys who went from like low T to high T, and then they were like, you know what?
Because now they like
I'm going to promise you there's
Yeah.
a small chance it's a neutral
Or they
correlation.
got hotter and more girls are noticing.
So that she already cut me off. That's exactly right.
Exactly.
So either there's a neutral correlation or there's going to be a positive correlation because these men are now have smaller waists, bigger muscles, and harder penises. Yes, I have to say the likelihood of them
longer.
cheating is going to
Probably
increase.
goes up.
Increase because
And they
of TRT.
feel good, and
I just
they've
don't see how
sexual.
I don't see how the likelihood of them cheating would decrease if they are on TRT. So yes, that's
Well,
probably
I mean,
a good
because
point.
we also know that testosterone declines after marriage,
Yes.
and then after divorce, it increases
goes back
again
up.
because of environment, as you were
wow.
saying
Yeah.
before. So
And they probably feel like they're a playboy now, and they've got all. Before they had like nothing, and now they've got like success and money, and
they're getting positive reinforcement from women that they didn't
Yeah.
get before.
One more time. If a guy who was not famous then becomes famous and gets a ton of attention from women, and during that time period he wants to have sex with no attachment. That isn't weird to me.
No,
that
not
seems
at all.
super
It's normal.
normal to me, and it doesn't. To me, I don't know if that's inclination that he may want to
You
cheat.
should have sex with lots of people because that's how you get good at it.
Okay, here we go. Congratulations.
And I'm a professional.
Now,